This is John for Global Traveler. Today I'm talking travel with content creator, psychic, clairvoyant, entertainer, Kelsi Davies. How are you?
I'm good. How are
Good. You've got a lot of varied titles, and we're going to get into all that. I
you?
read that you were a shy youngster. So how did a shy youngster become a social media star?
That's something that my whole family questions, I think. I question that too. I grew up really like with a lot of social anxiety, and I think a lot of it had to do with just being open to energies and things like that, and also just being a creative person. I feel like a lot of very creative, artistic people are tend to be a little bit to themselves too. So I think that I was just able to express my creativity online in a way that I was not able to do in person with people. So it just gave me a an outlet to just create things.
When did that start? When did you start going, hey, I want to go online, I want to be a presence online?
Yeah, ever since I was little, I would always be so drawn to the acting world. So I'd watch movies and I would just envision myself acting, and I always wanted to do it. And I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to go do acting classes. And she was like, Are you sure? You hide behind my leg every time I try to introduce you to someone. But that's just something I wanted to do. And then once I got into acting, they started asking for a social media like following number. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have to build that up. So then I went on that venture and it all just kind of blew up. It's crazy.
You ever sit back and go look at your journey and go, wow, I came from here to all the way to here because you've got a huge following.
Yeah, it's crazy. I still don't process it. It's just I forget. Like I always think, "Oh my gosh, I need to do this, this and that." And then my boyfriend, he always reminds me, he's like, You're doing good. Like you got it. You don't have to worry all the time." And so I think that's something that I'm really trying to come into terms with is that I have created this and I have, it's expanding constantly, and that's just something that I need to just like tell myself every day, like, you're good, you're okay.
Well, you are good. You are. I mean, you're better than just okay. But does that put pressure on you then to keep it going, to keep, to keep up the steam, if you will?
Yeah, it definitely does. I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm just able to really focus on like certain content pieces and make them into something bigger than I used to. And I think that that's good for me for now because I just got really overwhelmed. I was editing everything myself. I did all my own graphic designs. I was making my merchandise. I was doing everything on my own. And it wasn't until like earlier this year that I finally got a team to help me with all that. So, yeah, it's just been a transition, for me to be able to like live my life without having to work all the time.
So I have to ask you, one of the things, there's a lot of things about you that really intrigue me. One of the things is you're a psychic clairvoyant. And I guess you figured that out at an early age. How did that come to be?
Yeah, I always grew up just seeing things differently. I would always just have experiences that I thought was normal. I thought everyone experienced these things, like dreams. I would have deceased people come to me in my sleep and give me messages for people, or I'd have more negative experiences, or I would just like know things about people while I was meeting them and know little things and stuff. And I always thought it was just something everyone had. So I later on it started getting more prominent to the point where I couldn't ignore it anymore. And so I asked my family, "Hey, do you know what this is?" Because my mom doesn't really she's not very spiritual. She doesn't really tap into all that, and either does my dad. And so she was like, "Oh, I think your grandma and your great uncle were mediums and they had psychic gifts and all this stuff, and I didn't know." I was like, "Why didn't you tell me this?" I was like, "My life makes sense. Why didn't you tell me? It runs in the family."
So do people then ask you what do you see in my future or things like that?
Yeah, they'll ask me things. Usually it's things that just come to me, or I'll channel. I'm kind of like an open vessel. So I'll kind of channel things for people from just the beyond or whatever. And then I'll do like tarot readings for my friends and cleansing and Reiki and all those little things. It's something that I think I kind of deep dived into it for a while to the point where I saw more than I needed to, and now
Okay.
I'm just kind of trying to ground myself more, because we have to live, our Earth experience. So
Well, I mean, you've got plenty of other things to fill your time as well.
yes,
Um,
yeah.
so that led you to you did you appeared on the Travel Channel with that.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
was that experience?
Yeah, it was really great. I've been on paranormal caught on camera a couple times because I go to some of the most haunted locations in the world, and I just like capturing things on camera because you can tell people things, but they're not really gonna believe it until they experience it or they see it. So I like trying to go to these places to capture things that are just unexplainable. And so that's when Paranormal Caught on Camera got a few of my unexplainable clips that I've caught of spirits and whatever.
So do you go to those places looking for that, or do you go to places and then find out where there might be stuff with like which is first, going to those places for the thing or going to the place and finding a thing?
It's a little bit of both for me. So sometimes I'll go somewhere and I'll experience something, and then I go and ask the owner, and then it ends up like, oh, I've experienced that too, stuff like that. Or it'll be somewhere that I've heard a lot about, and friends have gone there and or locals have gone there and said that they've experienced things. So then I'll go seek it out as well.
So you were also a panelist at the multiple conventions, but for you again, going back to you were a shy girl, now you got a huge following. How is that I mean, I've done a couple panels, nowhere near what you have, and I don't have the following you have. But how was that experience for you though, being on a panel at a big convention like that?
It's really surreal. It's so cool because I just know that I'm meant to like put my voice out there, and I'm here to help like with the mass awakening, and I'm just here to share my experiences in my voice, and it feels very fulfilling. I do get anxiety for sure, but like I'm able to go in front of thousands of people for some reason, but then I get anxiety just talking one-on-one to people. It's really bizarre. It's almost like I kind of disassociate myself from being watched by all these people, and I'll just be me and do my thing and talk to the people on stage and stuff like that. So it's something that I'm able to navigate around my social anxiety, luckily. Um, but it took a lot of work for sure to get to that point.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, we talked a little bit about your travel channel experience, but since you traveled all over the world, where have you been that you really enjoyed, and where do you want to go at some point?
Oh my gosh, there's so many places I want to go. We just went to, I've been to Thailand a couple times. Absolutely love it there. It's just so spiritual and so beautiful. And we went to Cambodia to the temples, and those were so surreal just to see. Like even these little hieroglyphics or things they carve into the walls are things that I've seen, growing up. And it's so interesting to be able to see it in person. And it just like goes into ancient cultures and how awakened they are and how connected spiritually they were. And it's just like makes me so happy and feel so validated to be able to go and see these ancient just monuments and beautiful things. And I think we went to Japan as well. It was a little more negative experience with spirits there, which was really interesting. I think I just went to some areas that weren't known for having good light experiences though. So to
Okay.
be fair, I really want to go to like Italy, to Pompeii. I really want to see just that. I mean, I think it's so sad and tragic, but it's also just so fascinating just to see, the past frozen in time. I think would be really, really cool. Um, so many places.
And do you have travel tips? Because obviously you've got a huge following. I'm sure people recognize you as you go into places. So do you kind of like to stay under the radar, or do you kind of just dive in?
Yeah, I just go, and if people recognize me, I always I always say hi and, talk to them and take pictures. So anytime we do that, I don't get recognized like a celebrity, so it's not like that for me. Luckily, it's just a few people every once in a while. But I don't know. I think it's really cool just seeing even in different countries if someone recognizes me from a different country. I think that's so fascinating and really cool because I forget my demographic goes all around the world.
Absolutely. So do you travel mostly for work type stuff, or do you do any just like just get away from everything and just travel just for the sake of fun?
It's usually work, but I get to combine my work with fun, which is such a blessing. And I think I don't know. I haven't gone on a vacation, like an actual vacation in years. And I would love to go and just sit there and do nothing. That's
Okay.
amazing. That's definitely a goal of mine. But for me, I don't know. I always find something to do with work because I want to share it with people because I know a lot of people aren't able to travel and aren't able to see these things, unfortunately. And so I want to share that with people and have them be able to see it from their home and whatnot and feel comforted in a way, just, I don't know, by knowing that I'm being like honest about where I'm going and I'm showing it very authentically and organically.
Well, actually, you hit it perfectly because that's what I got from your media stuff is that yours is just it feels more like my pal, going
Yeah.
to someplace and I feel it doesn't sound like a travel brochure or anything like that. It just sounds like you're going there and I'm kind of living through your eyes. So I really enjoy your travel stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, that's the goal. I just want it to be something where, you can just come along with me.
So you do a lot of things. You sing, you've got you have your own app, you have a lot of stuff on YouTube. Is there any one thing that you, with no disrespect to the others, is there any one thing that you enjoy the most?
I think acting is my main passion. That's something that I truly just I feel fulfilled, when I'm on set and even if I'm doing like extra work, I feel so fulfilled just being in that atmosphere. So that's something I'm really, really drawn to. And I luckily I get to continue to do that in the near future and I'm so, so excited.
Before I let you go, when you just want to get away from everything, I know you said you haven't vacationed in a while, but even just at your home, if you want to get away from everything, what do you do to unwind, to relax?
I light some candles and incense and I just sit on my couch and I eat like peanut butter M&Ms and I watch TV or I'll play video games. I really enjoy playing like PS5 video games and stuff. I've always enjoyed that since I was young. So video games and binge watching.
Cool. Now, before I let you go, the last thing I have to ask you is tell everybody where they could find out more information about you, what you have upcoming in the future. It's your show.
Yeah, you can find me on my YouTube, which is Kelsi Davies. I post everything, pretty much everything there, all my short form content and long form and aspects of my life. So if you want to know more about me, you can head over there. I also have TikTok, Instagram. They are KelsiDavies. So Kelsi Davies with two I's and two S's.
Well, I found you and I did a deep dive into your YouTube stuff. Like I said earlier in the interview, I really enjoyed it. It's obviously very professionally done, but it's done in such a way that it really draws you in. It makes me feel like I'm there with you, and it's lighthearted, but it's very entertaining, and I really enjoy your work.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Kelsey. You have a
Thank
great day.
you. You
Bye.
too.
Bye bye.